What if the way we pose for selfies, scroll through feeds, and obsessively track engagement isn't just entertainment, but a form of discipline? What if we've built a machine so elegant, so invisible, that it trains us, body and soul, to conform? And we love it? Michel Foucault, a French philosopher obsessed with prisons and power, never lived to see Instagram. But if he had, he would have recognized it instantly. Not as a tool of freedom, but as a digital panopticon. In the late 18th century, British philosopher Jeremy Bentham designed the Panopticon, a circular prison with a central watchtower. The genius of it? The prisoner never knows when they're being watched, so they behave as if they're being watched all the time. Foucault took this further. In Discipline and Punish, he argued that modern societies don't need chains or guards. We internalize surveillance. We monitor ourselves. Power isn't always violent. Sometimes it's soft, silent, and deeply psychological. Modern institutions, schools, hospitals, armies, didn't just control people. They produced them. They shaped how we stand, how we speak, how we think about ourselves. Discipline, Foucault said, doesn't repress. It constructs. But as Foucault's work evolved, so did his focus. In his later writings, he shifted from how power disciplines individuals to how it manages populations. And that's where the concept of biopolitics enters. Biopolitics, as Foucault developed it in the late 1970s, is the way modern power operates not just on individuals, but on life itself. Governments, corporations, platforms, they don't just care about what we do. They care about how long we live, what we eat, how we reproduce, how we behave in aggregate. It's not about punishing one person. It's about optimizing the health, productivity, and behavior of entire populations. In this view, power isn't just about prisons. It's about statistics, norms, trends. And social media? It's the perfect biopolitical tool. It doesn't just surveil individuals, it shapes the behavior of millions through metrics, algorithms, and invisible nudges. Now imagine Instagram through this Foucauldian lens, a space where we voluntarily post images of our bodies, meals, outfits, thoughts, and locations, where the algorithm watches everything and rewards conformity. It's a platform that doesn't need to punish you. It simply withholds visibility, quietly pushes you out of the feed. No likes, no reach, no relevance. So what do? We adapt, we copy trends, we refine ourselves into ever more clickable, more viewable, more aesthetic versions of ourselves. We discipline our bodies to fit into a square frame. We smile more. We angle the camera just right. We turn ourselves into data, clean, digestible, optimized. And here's the twist. We think we're expressing ourselves, but we're being formatted. As Foucault would later write, the modern subject is not just shaped by institutions, but by technologies of the self. These are the practices we perform, often willingly, to conform to what is expected of a good person, a desirable body, a successful life. Instagram is full of these technologies, tracking macros, filming workouts, curating feeds, scheduling posts, monitoring reach. We don't just post, we optimize ourselves. The body, Foucault argued, is not just a biological fact, it's a site of power, and today, it's a content-producing interface. We exercise, not for health, but for the camera. We eat for the photo, not the experience. We travel for the post, not the place. Our flesh becomes performance. Our desires get coded into trends. Even rebellion, even not caring, gets aestheticized and monetized. Instagram doesn't just show who we are. It tells us who to be. Here's a case that brings it all into focus. A young woman starts posting about her eating disorder recovery. Honest, raw content. She gains followers. The algorithm promotes her. But over time, her audience expects a certain kind of vulnerability. Curated, aesthetic, still beautiful. She begins to filter her pain, stylize her meals, rehearse her breakdowns. Her authenticity becomes content. Her recovery becomes a performance. And her body? It becomes a battleground between algorithmic rewards and actual healing. What began as empowerment ends in a loop of self-discipline disguised as self-expression. But here's the subtle trick. We think we're doing it freely. Foucault would remind us, discipline works best when it feels like freedom. So, is this a dystopia in soft pastels? Are we forever trapped in a curated loop of our own making? Not necessarily. Foucault didn't believe in escape, but in awareness. He urged us to recognize the systems that shape us, not to fantasize about perfect freedom, but to learn the rules we're playing by. Freedom, he suggested, isn't the absence of constraints. It's the ability to see them clearly and choose our responses. When we become conscious of how power flows through algorithms, trends, aesthetics, we regain a sliver of agency. You don't need to delete your account, but maybe before you post that next photo, you pause and ask, is this me or the machine speaking through me? We once imagined surveillance as cameras and fences, but the new prisons are pixelated and pretty. Their bars are made of likes, their guards are invisible, and their labor is us. Foucault didn't predict Instagram, but he saw something deeper. That power doesn't always punish. Sometimes it seduces, and sometimes the most obedient prisoners are the ones who smile for the camera. Script and narration by Romanenko Viktoria. Inspired by the philosophy of Michel Foucault. Subscribe for more thoughtful explorations of our strange digital world.